with Nick Cattles.
He's Greg, I'm Nick. You know the spiel. Everyone's favorite PrizePicks holiday promotion, by the way, is back. 7 days of Picksmas. PrizePicks is giving out 7 days of deals all the way through Christmas Day, including a Christmas Day max discount. Picksmas starts December 20th, so of course, it's already underway. So download the app today and unwrap those deals. A lot of news to get through, Greg, so let's get right to it. Drake Maye, Christian Gonzalez, both make the Pro Bowl. I would imagine that Drake Maye making it is not too much of a shocker. Christian Gonzalez hasn't played to his level this year, but just quick thoughts on those two guys making it and Marcus Jones not making it.
Drake definitely should have. I have no idea why Christian Gonzalez made it, especially off this last game. And Marcus Jones definitely should make it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who else. Look, I don't really watch the rest of the league, so I don't know who else could be a punt returner.
Well, you do, because he plays for the Tennessee Titans. Chimere Dike is the guy.
I don't know how you can go wrong with that guy. He's pretty damn good, too. So I don't have a big complaint. Drake Maye definitely should have made it. If I was going to pick a cornerback on this team to make the Pro Bowl, he might be third on the list at this point. But it is what it is.
Other bit of news, Ben Brown signs a 2-year contract extension with a maximum value of $6.6 million. I think the deal makes a lot of sense. What do you think of it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great this year that he's developed. We all knew that he could play center, and I think it's underrated how well he played center last year after David Andrews got hurt, and then he developed guard versatility. He's giving you some extra tackle stuff. I don't think they're the same player, but his career trajectory almost reminds me of Ted Karras in that Steady Teddy's just he just hung around, started to get opportunities, started playing other positions, developed into a fine player who, got paid decently in free agency by the Bengals. Of course, he never should have left here, but that's a story for a different day. That's awesome for him.
All right, so I tweeted this at you. I'll just ask you right now. Since we're going to spend probably, I don't know, the next at least 10 minutes on injuries.
Hang on. Let me get my tissues for you. Hang on a second. All right. I'm ready.
Since you are the official injury Gestapo of the NFL, letting us know.
I prefer to call it fact teller.
All right, injury Gestapo. Since you know the different levels here, the different tiers, going back about a month ago, you said the Patriots are having tremendous injury luck. Have the Patriots suffered enough injuries for you yet? Have we reached enough injuries?
You mean just off of what I saw on the game, or do you have new information on that? All
right. Well,
is anybody going on season-ending IR?
I don't know, but we have three
going into play. Go ahead. Then I'll see what I'm say.
We have 3 players in concussion protocol. Kayshon Boutte, Travion Henderson, and Jared Wilson has also been added to the list. So those 3 guys are in concussion protocol. Have no idea when they will return. Of course, 9 players went to the tent on Sunday night. That's 9. Hopefully, that's enough for you. 7 didn't return, so hopefully that's enough for you. But just your thoughts first and foremost on the concussion protocol guys, Boutte, Henderson, and Wilson.
I hope this isn't for all of them and any player that goes into concussion protocol. I hope this isn't, they don't have a history. This isn't a serious thing, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully it's a, 1 or 2 off. But basically, in general, for the Patriots, I have no sympathy for their injury situation now that they're a mash unit going in to play the Jets and the Dolphins. Like, this is just typical of their season. They still have yet to put a starter on season-ending IR.
I got him going.
Did you see what the Lions had to play with the other night? Did you see what some of these other teams have to play with right now? And I'm going to cry me a river that the Patriots have injury problems going up against the the Jets and the Dolphins before they might have the number 1 seed in a bye in the playoffs. I mean, they're going to get Will Campbell back. They're going to get. I mean, I feel for you people. The trials and tribulations, the adversity that you people have had to overcome this season. I mean, I can't wait to write my book after the season. It's going to be Profiles in Courage, 25 New England Patriots. And so there you have it. You wanted to get me going. You got me going. And by the way, can you stop with these people on Twitter? These freaking Looney Tunes. Like, they're like, yeah, did they? This is what I think when I get it from Mick Jr., who probably does 6'7" all the time on Twitter. Maybe they had 6 or 7 injuries in this game. Maybe they do that. These morons.
Hey now,
who, do they really think if I didn't point out, the facts about the Patriots and injuries and how them and the Rams? Let me also say that. The Patriots and the Rams, possibly the 2 representatives in the Super Bowl, the healthiest teams in the National Football League this season. Did they really think that if I didn't point out these facts, that the Patriots were never going to get any injuries this season?
Yes.
I mean,
I believe that. They'd be healthier right now if it wasn't for you, Greg.
Yes.
9 guys to the tent on Sunday. 9 guys. 7 guys during that game down. It's your fault. It's your fault. What I would do if I were you, I would just embrace the blame, understand it, acknowledge it, maybe apologize eventually.
No.
But just keep digging that hole. Keep digging that hole. On a serious note, though, I will say we'll save this for like a later conversation, you and I, but I do think the NFL has an issue here. And it's not just the Patriots and what happened Sunday night. There have been a lot of injuries. And you look at the 17-game schedule, the 1 bye week, shoving and shoehorning games into every holiday now. We got 3 games on Christmas, forcing more teams to play short weeks, the international travel. Goodell's out there talking about expanding it to 18 games, maybe at some point 20. At a certain point, you got to look around and say, can we be human? And there have been a lot of significant injuries in this football season. And if you want your league to thrive at the highest level, you got to take care of these guys. And I've got some big concerns. But again, that's more of a conversation and a league-wide problem that I think has to be addressed at some point. I will say
I will say one quick thing on that. I mean, they're going to go to 18-game schedule eventually. They're going to need double bye weeks. But I also think that both sides, the union and the league, need to seriously look at what's the best way to get these guys ready to play a full football season, and really delve into that. Is it more padded practices or what? I don't know what the answers are. There's a lot smarter people out there than me. There's AI that they can feed this stuff into, and maybe they get some good suggestions. But yeah, they need to do something. I mean, I also think some of the players are complicit with some of the footwear that they wear. They're basically like sprinter shoes, and they're not helping each other. And, we've seen the NBA with the proliferation of Achilles injuries. And, there's something going on. I mean, I used to have some pretty sweet basketball shoes back in the day, and they were nice. Armored trucks. Yeah.
You get the Converse?
Yeah. I think I was a black Converse guy, all black. I had to mat out the black. Yeah. So I looked like Joe Klein or something.
Jaylen Brown's sneaker blew up last night, a la Zion.
Oh, geez.
Thankfully, nothing happened. He didn't get hurt, but there was a moment where I kind of and I clutched my pearls. I thought something bad was going to go down. All right, back to the Patriots injuries, though. We do have some optimistic updates, which I'm sure Greg will tap dance about. Milton Williams is returning to practice. The 21-day window has been opened up for him. Mike Vrabel let everybody know that. Would you say, Greg, that he's the second most important player that the Patriots need healthy for the playoffs behind Drake Maye?
Good question. Yeah. Him and Spillane, I would say, are very close. I mean, I don't think they're going anywhere without one without the other. And So I don't think I saw Spillane travel this week, so that's not a great sign. Will Campbell was there, which, because I worry about injuries all the time, I was like, oh, please, Will, stay away from the traffic. Sometimes he got a little bit too close. I mean, plus he's chugging beers on the Jumbotron. I mean,
yeah, baby.
Let's all worry about the knee, Will Campbell's knee, but he could be chugging beers shirtless and on the sideline. But yeah, I mean, him and Spillane are real close. I think they having both is a must. The Patriots are sort of like the Bills with like Matt Milano at this point. Like, Ed Oliver, I think, is on IR for the season. I don't know if they might get him back, but if they don't have Milano, they're not the same defense. They could be okay, but they're not the same defense. It's going to be the same thing with the Patriots with Spillane.
Hey, man, I could have 2 knee sprains and still suck down a beer at a Celtics game. Speaking of Robert Spillane, he's not wearing a boot in the locker room during media access, according to Mike Reese. So take that for what it's worth. But last week he had the boot on. This week he had no boot. And as Greg said, pretty important player, man, when you watch these linebackers, which, we might not get to today, but hopefully we eventually get to these linebackers, because it was a struggle bus on Sunday night. Another update, Ian Rappaport, we saw Kyrie's Tonga leave the game on Sunday night. He did not return. Ian Rappaport is reporting that it is a 1 to 2 week injury for Kyrie's Tonga. So 1 to 2 weeks, and he has it listed as a foot injury. So would you just kind of sit him until the playoffs, Greg, at this point now? He had the chest injury. He has the foot injury. Is it, hey, Kyrie's just, 1 to 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks left. We'll see in the postseason.
Oh, another guy who's not going to be available for these 2 crap bag games to finish the season, but will be available and probably fully healthy for the Patriots. What a nice break for them. Yeah, there's a lot of guys. They need to figure out whether it's Marcus Jones, Kyrie's Tonga, Morgan Moses. I thought Munford played well the other day. Like, if Moses needs a week or two, they've clinched their playoff spot. They should be able to beat the JV Jets and imploding Dolphins with just about anybody, maybe even Nick Cattles at fullback. Yeah, I'm starting to prioritize health for some of these guys. Some of these more important guys like Tonga, and he would definitely be on the list.
All right, so we've learned a lot here, including that, Greg. I don't know if you need at least one player on IR. To say that it's a tough season injury-wise. Is that the threshold? I don't know. We're trying to get these answers from Greg, because he is the
season ending.
Okay, so he's the injury guru. So we have that written down, so we're clear on that. All right, yes. We got to get to the
let me state it. Let me state it clearly. The Patriots still this season have incredible injury luck, and it's part of the reason they are where they are. Why do you keep doing
this? Why do you keep doing this to yourself? Why do you keep doing this to the football team?
Facts.
All right. Can you get to PrizePicks before we get to the Ravens game?
Yes, I absolutely can. It's the holiday season, the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. PrizePicks. My favorite thing about PrizePicks is picking multiple sports in the same lineup. With basketball back, I can put Jaylen Brown and Drake Maye in the same lineup. I can also toss in a Morgan Geekie, since I'll be at the Bruins game tonight, whooping it up for the Canadians. Should be a good one, and root for all of them. I might do that tonight. This week, no, that is not going on right now. PrizePicks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Is your fantasy season already over? My team is cooked, even though, of course, in the constellation bracket, they decided to put up 120 points this week. Where was that during the regular season? I don't have to wait until next year's draft. PrizePicks lets you play fantasy football every week. Pick your favorite players and win when they hit their projections every week. No draft required. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right.
And, of course, for those listening, we ask that you subscribe to the podcast, like, and leave a review. If you're watching the show on CLNS, go ahead and hit that like button. Give us the thumbs up. and subscribe to the Patriots Press Pass YouTube channel where you can find our show and a lot of other great Patriots content. And make sure you turn on the notifications so you know when Greg is going to go live and make all of you angry. You also want to check out Greg at BSJ with Mike Giardi. $50 for the year. You could pay $50 for the year, and you can leave angry comments at Greg. He reads all of them, so you can do that if you'd like. Bedard and Giardi tag teaming Patriots with film and the best sources around. All right, Drake Maye. Obviously, I think the big takeaway is first 3 quarters compared to his fourth quarter. What'd you see when you watched this game over?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know you're talking about, like, you know, I don't know if we're going to have enough time with the turnaround with the Ravens and the late game. I didn't even go to sleep Sunday night. I went straight to the plane and then slept a little bit yesterday. And then I have to go to Felger and Mass. But this game isn't overly complicated. I mean, you know, first and foremost, above everything, if you're doing a tier, it'd be in a tier by itself. It's Drake Maye's fourth quarter. It was tremendous. It was the complete opposite of what we saw the week before. I mean, you know, truth be told, through about 3 quarters, especially because he had a really rough third quarter. The first half wasn't that bad outside of the 2 bad turnovers, which are bad. But he had a really rough third quarter where we saw some of the same stuff as the week before against the Bills. And I was like, well, you know, and then it looked like he was going to have 2 drives to possibly win the game. And, you know, I was like, well, here we go again. And, you know, the guy was tremendous. He just, you know, I think we sort of talked about it in our preview, and I wrote about this on Sunday about, like, I don't know if this was, if they certainly wouldn't admit to it, but I wonder if this was part of the thinking where everybody was like, oh, they got so pass happy against the Bills. And, you know, I wondered aloud in my column on Sunday, did McDaniels and Vrabel talk at some point and they say, you know what, you know, if we get the opportunity, let's put a lot on Drake's plate. Let's see what he can do with it. Let's throw him into the deep end a little bit, because we only have these 2 games here that are going to be playoff type games before we get to the postseason. And anything against the Jets and the Dolphins really aren't. Let's put a lot on. Let's put a little bit more. You know, Josh McDaniels talked about the cup and how much you put in, and it gets bigger and bigger. Let's overflow the cup a little bit, see how he does, because we know that he makes corrections. He does really well. And I thought, and this goes for the whole team, because, you know, the defense, you know, similar to Drake Maye through 3 quarters, it was the same thing with the defense. I'm like, you know, are they going to be able to get off the field? Can they stop Derrick Henry? Lamar Jackson's not even on the field. They still can't stop him. Here we go again. The quarterback can't make plays. The defense can't get off the field. Here we go. Same thing. But everybody reversed action, and it started with the quarterback. And I think the biggest thing out of that game is the belief, not only for Drake, but more for his teammates. Everybody talks great about Drake. Everybody loves him. Everybody takes part in Bakemas and all that good stuff. But there's one thing about saying things about a player and then truly believing in your soul about your teammate. And what Drake Maye did in the fourth quarter, that now boosts him to not number 12's level, okay, necessarily, but what he did in his performance in leading 2 touchdown drives in the fourth quarter, now his teammates in any situation, down 2 scores, we haven't really seen them in this position. They've been ahead at halftime. Most games they've been ahead. When they have had to come back, it hasn't really gone well. They're down 11. They look dead. The Ravens are doing whatever they want. The Patriots can't do anything. They certainly can't run the ball. Now it's going to be all on Drake Maye. You know, you're just like, this isn't probably not going to end up well. And then Drake does what he does. And now his teammates will believe they get down 2 scores. They're in a tough spot. We're all right. We got number 10. Number 10 can get us out of this. And so that's the number one buying away. The biggest thing out of this game was that.
He was exceptional on the 2 touchdown drives. And I've said this a few podcasts already with you. I'm kind of going along with Greg's breakdown of film now and doing the whole plus minus thing. On those 2 touchdown drives, I had Drake for like 9+ plays and 1 minus play. The 1 minus play to me was he forced it to Kyle Williams and left the football inside, which could have been a pick. He had Stephon Diggs on that play, but that was the 1 minus. He had 9+ plays in my book. And man, oh man, you're talking high level. He's constantly getting hit, constantly getting pressured, getting dragged down to the ground. I mean, smart decision after smart decision after smart decision. It was a lot of fun to watch those 2 touchdown drives. I actually think towards the tail end of the third quarter, he got it going a little bit. There were a couple of plays where it was like, ooh, you might forget about that one. That stood out to me. I do want to ask you, though, about the interception. Here's my thought. And again, kind of a novice with this stuff when watching the film. But I feel, Greg, that I thought it was on both Maye and Booty. So Booty has the one-on-one near the corner, near the pylon, and the front corner of the end zone. And when Drake's letting go of the football, Booty is in front of, I think it was Humphrey. He's in front. And what I saw, maybe you agree or disagree. Well, you'll do one of those 2 things, Nick, won't he? So, you look at it, and to me, Booty is expecting Maye to throw it towards the pylon. He's expecting the throw to be outside towards the pylon, and Maye leaves it inside. So that was the first issue, is that Drake Maye kind of left the ball inside when I think Booty's thinking, let's go towards the pylon here. But I'd also say Booty did shit on that play. Like, he's just standing there. He's not trying to box out the defensive back. He's not, when he sees the balls thrown a little bit inside, there's zero fight to try to get back into the play, and he just kind of lets it happen. So it wasn't the best decision by Drake, but we've seen it before where it's, I got my guy one-on-one, and he does it with Booty. He did it later in the game where the lack of DPI call, and I'm sure Greg had no problem with that miss. But when you're looking at that play, it's
I actually gave him a plus throw on that.
Yeah, I did too. But when you're looking at that play, Greg, I thought this was Drake trying to give his guy a shot, and Booty did not help him in any kind of way. How'd you read the pick?
Yeah, very similar to you. I split it between both of them, but I read it as, Booty won it, and it was sort of just like a hitch where, he just like stops and makes himself available, but Maye wanted him to, what's also important on that play is watch, because I've heard some people who, I don't know, they must be humongous Keyshawn Booty fans, because, when I tweeted, like, Booty didn't really give great effort on that interception in real time. Watch where the ball lands. It's like right behind the sticks, beyond the sticks, or right at the sticks. So I think Drake was reading it as it's a hitch, but if the dude's on your back, like, come back for the ball. And like, that's where I think your job as a receiver is, all right, I'm running a hitch, but I'm going to come back to the ball. And that's the way Maye read it. And then he was going to throw it low, and it was either going to be Booty or nobody. But then all of a sudden, like midway, he just like stopped, and the guy picked it up and dove where Booty should have been diving. They both probably should have been diving for the ball. And so I put a majority of that on Booty. I thought I'm sure he didn't mean to not give full effort. I think it looked worse than it was, but he's just got to work his way back to the ball, and he just didn't do that.
Yeah, if you're looking at the 2 turnovers, I thought the fumble was the most egregious, obviously, for Maye.
Yeah.
And the second half fumble was also not great from him. We all kind of forget that one where he hits Westover in the hip with the ball. But yeah, I had the same read as you did, and I saw my buddy Mark Bertrand, kind of say, I'm not blaming Booty at all for that play. I love you, Mark, but I couldn't disagree more with my guy Bertrand. The offensive line, fire drill in the second half. Vidarian Lowe was a disaster. He wasn't good in the first half. He was worse in the second half. I thought Jared Wilson had a really tough night. Now we know he has a concussion. How much did that play in it? I don't know. But I thought Lowe was bad. I thought Wilson was bad. Bradbury ended up on his ass once or twice. I thought Michael Wenu was good. And I thought it was pretty clear that Morgan Moses was not healthy, which we all know. But, man, Morgan, Mike Vrabel had the embrace with him in the post game. And you see the video of Drake Maye on the sidelines where he's kind of pep talking the offense, and he singles out Morgan Moses and says that's a way to fight. I thought Moses was just out there because he needed to be out there, frankly. What did you see from the O-line?
Yeah, I talked to Morgan after the game, and yeah, he had to go through a lot to play in that game. So kudos to him. So I read it a little differently than you. I mean, for the game, definitely the left side had. I thought the other three guys were great in the game. Now I have a category what's called like a team pressure or team hurry or team stuff where, the Patriots were having a lot of problems with games in this game. We haven't seen that in a while. I assume they're going to work on that this week. A lot of them, I was watching them and I'm like, I don't know how much more these guys could do. I don't know how they, really you need to prevent a game or minimize the damage ahead of time. And maybe for whatever reason, they weren't prepared for it in this game. And some of those, I just don't fault the offensive linemen. I'm like, the guy's blocking and somebody comes in and hits him. I mean, what's the guy supposed to do? And was it somebody else's fault that he was supposed to do more? I thought the offensive line, again, was pretty good. They could do a little bit more in the running game, of course. But, like even Bedard Lowe, in the second half, I only had him for 2 hurries. Now, there's a couple of things. There's the games you have to keep in mind where if I look at it, I might not fault the player. There's also times that you need to watch how deep Drake Maye gets in the pocket. There were times in this game where he got really deep in the pocket, and that's not the tackle's fault. If Drake Maye's beyond 10 yards, that's his fault. There was also another time where Austin Hooper, definitely Bedard Lowe had a couple plays where he was very slow to get out of his stance, and I don't know what he was doing. There was one time where Austin Hooper helped chip, but he chipped on the rusher's inside shoulder, which sent him to the outside, and that's not Bedard Lowe's fault. That's Austin Hooper's fault.
Yeah.
That was actually a knockdown that I gave to Austin Hooper. So I put a lot of the pressure in the second half that Maye was having to deal with, and he did a really good job with it for the most part. A lot of it was just the Ravens sending an extra guy where the Patriots didn't have pass protection. And there was one time where Ramondre Stevenson, he didn't see the inside blitz coming.
Yeah.
So, but I thought, this is a stretch where I would say this is among the best the offensive line has done in pass protection these last 3 or so games of the season.
We'll agree to disagree on some of it. Look, you're the offensive line guy. You know more than I do about offensive line play, and I could see some of those games. There's no doubt that caused some issues. There was, miscommunication, confusion up front. But I did think that Lowe and Wilson were not good. And whether we want to make it sound a little bit better for him, maybe. But I just thought they weren't good. I didn't think Bradbury was bad. He just ended up on his ass once or twice. Again, I thought Owenu was good, and to me, Morgan Moses was dealing with it, so I'm not going to kill him. But it was mostly Lowe and Wilson that were just, to me, not good. As far as Ramondre Stevenson, I thought he was great for most of the night, especially in pass protection. There was the one play that you just mentioned. I think Stevenson's been terrific the last couple of weeks. I would also say man coverage was a big question heading into this game, and I thought the Patriots did a good job of dealing with man coverage. Drake Maye's numbers were pretty much through the roof against man coverage. So those are two things offensively that were good. But we got to jump to the defense. Before we do that, don't forget CLNS, behind-the-scenes content, Celtics podcast, NBA history channel, and also PrizePicks, everyone's favorite PrizePicks holiday promotion. It's back. 7 days of Picksmas. PrizePicks giving out 7 days of deals all the way through Christmas Day, including a Christmas Day max discount. Download the app, unwrap those deals. Defensively, Greg, more trouble versus the run. What do you think are the main issues right now, aside from they don't have Spillane and they don't have Milton Williams?
They're just not big enough up front. They get if they go up against a decent offensive line, they get owned. Pretty much. That's the deal. This game they tried to really slant and create havoc, and sometimes it worked a little bit, sometimes it didn't. The other thing I wanted to say about this game, let's make no mistake that, and this is normally how comebacks work, but the Patriots don't win this game if the Ravens aren't very complicit in their own demise. You had the Henry fumble, which great punch out by Jalen Hawkins. Next drive, D-Hop drops a ball. Lamar gets hurt. Huntley had a bad pass to a wide open Mark Andrews with 5:58. It was very similar to Drake Maye's ball in the dirt to Stephon Diggs, the second play of last week's against the Bills second half, where if he hits him on the outside shoulder, he turns the corner and he gets a first down. Huntley turfs the ball. The Zay Flowers fumble, great hustle. They missed a field goal. Harbaugh not putting Henry back in. Now, I don't mind him not starting the drive, but once they picked up the first down, like that's when Derrick Henry goes in. Like you want to get him a little extra rest for the finish. I get it, but holy cow. But the Patriots were largely garbage in this game on defense. If Lamar Jackson plays the rest of the game and they're a little bit better with ball security, which the Ravens aren't, so great job by the Patriots, and they drilled it all week. They knew a weakness, they got it, and that was a great job. But really, it's few and far between players that played well on defense for them, and they're just lucky. The Ravens love to shoot themselves in the foot repeatedly like they have all season.
Hey, man, I'm not going to cry about the Ravens part of this. You had 9 guys go to the tent. You had 7 guys leave the game, not come back. Your defensive tackle position was so bad as far as health goes. You played Anthony Jennings in the middle of the defensive line in this game. Guys like outweighed by 40 pounds, offensive lineman he's facing, if not more tthan that. You didn't get a DPI call, which you should have got a DPI call.
Yeah, but you scored on the drive.
I know. I was going to say they showed resilience. So, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, it's just, a big part of this game was the Ravens. A big part of the game was Patriots' resilience.
Come on.
We can play this game back and forth, Greg, right? We really can. We could sit there and say, oh, well, this happened, but that happened. This happened, but that happened. Who gives a shit? They won the football game. They came back from 11 down. The Ravens made mistakes. The Patriots made mistakes. The Patriots had a slew of injuries. You might not want to talk about it long-term, but honestly, I'm being serious about this one. You had 9 guys go to the medical tent, okay? 9 dudes. You start the game with probably guys. How many guys on this team?
All right, let's move on. Point made.
Well, okay, fine.
You made your point.
Christian Gonzalez wasn't good in this football game. We don't have a lot of time to discuss it because there were some technical issues before, so we got started late, and Greg's going to go to Felger and Maz. So
on some ups and downs.
Well, I was just going to say that. Christian Gonzalez wasn't good. With that said, tell us about the guys that you thought were good and the guys that weren't so good on Sunday night.
So fourth quarter, Drake Maye, awesome. Ramondre Stevenson, awesome.
Yep.
Everybody on the right side, Bradbury, Owenu, Moses, good. Thayer Munford, good. Pretty good in the run game. Of course, Steph Diggs, he shoved it up my butt this week. I don't know the reason for it. I don't know if it was going back to Maryland. I don't know if people, if somebody played the clip of me saying like he couldn't do week 5 against the Bills again. Kudos to him for doing it. It could have just been he got lit up in film session last week because what he put out there was not good enough. And he had a chat with Mike Vrabel to say, we need you to play a lot better than you played in this game. Look at these plays where Drake Maye's looking for you. You didn't come through for him. You need to come through. That got corrected this week. Bingo, bango. Really good game from Diggs. Kyle Williams, including a nice little run. He had a block, but in a penalty. He had a nice block on one touchdown. I don't know.
Yeah, the Stevenson 21-yard touchdown run.
Hunter Henry, pretty good drop. He had a stuffed run. I thought Corey Durden was pretty good.
Yep.
Kayvon Chason was good overall, but he had some really rough plays on the edge in the run game.
Yeah.
But I would say overall he was more better than good, especially he had the forced fumble, which was huge. I don't know if they win without that. I thought Carlton Davis had some good plays. Not a great game, but some good plays. So that's it for the pluses. The minuses, I thought Travion Henderson was not good before he went out and showed you the difference between a running back in Stevenson and a home run hitter in Travion Henderson. I would say Jared Wilson I would put on the sort of minus list. Nobody from the receivers, really. Harold Landry, I mean, just nothing. I mean, low and edge in the run game.
Like, he's non-existent. He's non-existent right now.
All the linebackers, Ellis, Gibbons, Tavai, they had their moments at times, but not good enough. And holy hell, Christian Gonzalez. I mean, he did answer he had a really good run tackle on Derrick Henry where he swiped away the lead hand, got him for only 5 yards. That was good. He had the pass breakup on the last series. But other than that, he was terrible, and he factored into 2 of the touchdowns. I thought that the first one's escaping me what he did. Oh, I think there was 2. It was 2 runs, I think.
It was 2 runs. One he gets blocked, which is somewhat understandable, but he doesn't give the greatest effort. The second one, and I'll do more about this on the Lockdown Patriots episode I'm going to do today. The second one to me was egregious. He's on the other side of the field. It was on the Zay Flowers touchdown run.
Yes.
His effort on that play was the drizzling shits. He's just kind of moseying along as everybody else in the defense is trying to chase Flowers down. I'm sorry, Christian Gonzalez. You got to give me better effort than that. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing on that play?
100%. And the other one was I think a 2-yard run by Henry where you could make the argument that Christian Gonzalez was hiding behind people to not have to go out and take out the offensive lineman. And then right after, and then of course there was the backside. You're exactly right. He was just lollygagging. He finally gets there at the end, but he's late because he wasn't hustling his ass off. He's hustling his ass off, which other people were to blame on that. Hawkins, Ellis, whatever. But he could have been there to knock him out at like the 2-yard line. And who knows, with the Ravens, they could have fumbled on the next play or had like holding. But yeah, dog crap effort. The 2-yard touchdown run right after that was when he suddenly played with a lot more attitude. He had the pass breakup. Vrabel talked about it. He had a very interesting quote about Gonzalez after the game, where basically you could say it sounds like Christian Gonzalez got lit up on the sideline after that 2-yard touchdown run, where some people were like, he might have turned down some contact on that and lit a fire under him because he was hot garbage for most of that game.
All right, great win. A little bit of a spicy episode. I like it. A little bit of spice. Greg's going to run to do Felger and Maz, no Felger. And everybody, hey, listen, have a fantastic Christmas. We will talk to you soon. Be well. The Patriots, of course, 12-3 on their way to the playoffs. Bye-bye.